Buying a co-op in New York City is the most affordable path to home ownership in the Big Apple. This is because co-ops can be up to 40% less expensive than comparable condo apartments. However, it's not always worth it to buy a co-op apartment in New York City. Here are some factors to consider when deciding whether it's worth buying a co-op in New York City. How long do you plan on staying in New York City? Buying a co-op in New York City is only worth it if you plan on living in New York City for the foreseeable future. This is because most co-op buildings will only permit you to sublet your apartment every few years. If you foresee a job transfer or another reason for relocation, it's probably better to rent versus buy. This is because you'd essentially be forced to sell your co-op once you've maxed out the permitted amount of subletting. If the market is in a downturn, you'll risk losing money on the sale. You could hold on to the unit and wait for a better market to sell into. However, you wouldn't be allowed to generate any rental income in the meantime. Will you need a bigger apartment in the near future? If you foresee the need for a larger apartment in less than 3 to 5 years, it's probably not worth it to buy a co-op apartment in New York City. This is because it's incredibly costly to buy and sell apartments in New York City, especially since most sellers aren't aware that there are alternatives to paying 6% in seller broker commission. Because of the high closing costs, it's generally a better idea to rent an apartment for a few additional years and save money, such that when you buy, you're confident it will be your long-term home for 5 years or more. Is your co-op purchase price reasonable? There are good and bad deals on co-op apartments in both strong and weak real estate markets. When buying, it's important to remember the old adage, money is made when you buy, not when you sell. With that said, it's especially important to make sure that you do not overpay for a co-op apartment. The best way to avoid overpaying is to thoroughly review the comps before submitting an offer. An experienced buyer's agent will be able to help you assess fair value for the co-op you're considering and devise an offer negotiation strategy to maximize the chances of getting a good deal on the purchase. What is the co-op sublet policy and flip tax? It's a good idea to exclude any co-ops from your search which have unreasonably restrictive sublet policies or a high seller flip tax. In addition to costing you money, a restrictive sublet policy and/or a high flip tax will make your apartment less desirable and therefore harder for you to sell in the future. Looking to buy or sell a home in New York? Learn how you can save on commission and closing costs at www.hauseit.com.